Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mitchell Rinkos. Well, it was a day of rain, golden carriages, royal oaths, and a massive military parade for the coronation of King Charles III. In spite of the soggy weather, crowds lined the streets of central London. A few anti-monarchy protesters were arrested, and the new king wore his crown for the first time. Here's Paul Workman from London.
King and Queen in a gleaming carriage of gold, rich in history, rich in pageantry, on their way to a modern coronation, based on ancient rites still cherished 1,000 years later. To Westminster Abbey, King Charles sweeping down the aisle, as his mother did 70 years ago, met by a young choir boy with a stirring welcome.
Your Majesty, as children of the kingdom of God, we welcome you in the name of the King of Kings.
In his name and after his example, I come not to be served, but to serve.
Stripped to more humble clothing and hidden behind screens for the appointment of holy oils. To the greatest of rituals on this day of homage and consecration, the Archbishop of Canterbury jiggling with the crown of St. Edward to make sure it was on properly.
God save the King!
God save the King! So help me God.
Prince William, son and heir to the throne, swearing loyalty to his father, with a hand on the crown and a kiss on the cheek that seemed momentarily intimate. This was a joint coronation. Camilla, the second wife, now Queen Camilla, graced with her own spectacular crown. The new king heralded out of the abbey to the words and song that will follow him through the rest of his reign. His son, Prince Harry, was there alone, a distant figure sitting in the third row, as was Prince Andrew, disgraced and no longer a working royal.
Not my king!
There was some minor disruption from anti-monarchists, holding banners and shouting, "Not our king," with a few arrested and taken away. Crowds endured a typical rainy English day with good humor and little complaint to witness history as it unfolded.
It's a little bit soggy, but I've thoroughly enjoyed the day so far. It's just been amazing, just fantastic, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world.
A return journey to Buckingham Palace in a different carriage, and a big crowd rushing for the grand finale. The first balcony appearance where Charles was front and center, and not just there as son of the Queen. Low clouds and all-day rain offered the only spoiler, a coronation flypast that had to be drastically scaled back. And this grand celebration is far from over. Tomorrow is a day of community picnics known as the Big Lunch, followed by a royal concert, and across Britain an extra day off work on Monday. Paul Workman, CTV News, London.
The Ministry of Transportation detailed its long-term plans for Highway 61 from Arthur Street to Loch Lomond Road. That came during a presentation at City Council, though there's still no timelines for the work. MTO planners are proposing a freeway design from the airport south to Chippewa that would include the elimination of traffic lights in favor of a roundabout and overpasses. The preferred design would also eliminate highway access at Broadway, instead lowering the highway to route it beneath the avenue. MTO's Kevin Saunders says it's difficult to say when the work could begin, as they have many ongoing plans for the region.
We got several projects that are to be completed there, and of course the Thunder Bay Expressway is a big project for us and a big priority as well. This study itself is intended to give us, future considerations when the change does come around where we can get at this corridor. Then we will pull this off the shelf and have a look at it. But this is more long range planning.
A public information meeting is planned for next month, though Sanders couldn't provide a date or venue. A groundbreaking ceremony was held in Shunya recently, marking the beginning of construction on a new EMS station. Officials from Shunya in Superior North EMS say the new facility will improve response times and help with recruitment. Carl Langdon reports.
The soil has finally thawed and construction was well underway during a groundbreaking ceremony this morning, where heavy-duty equipment was on site preparing for the construction of Shunya's new EMS station. Modeled after Kakabeka's station with a few minor improvements, the modular design allows for further expansion when the need arises.
The new construction is really exciting because it also gives us an opportunity for recruitment. It shows us our paramedics that we're here to support them, provide them with all the opportunity, and really help them support what they need for operations.
Makes it a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit more quality of life than the little trailer that they're presently in that is not adequately heated.
Beyond improvements to the quality of life for the resident paramedics, expected improvement to response times also serves to benefit the municipality.
We're looking at a 90-second response time, which is really exciting for us. It's very centrally located in the municipality, and it's going to act as a strategic operations base for us. Not only is it going to cover the municipality of Shunya, but it offers an opportunity as a backup base.
Projected costs have come in under Superior North's initial estimates, and plans to recoup costs by leasing the building back to the municipality should further reduce the ultimate cost of the station.
So the cost came in a little bit lower than we were expecting, and the build will be about $1.5 million. So that's good news for the taxpayers and the municipality. We'll be able to lease that building back off the municipality and help cover costs.
The original proposal for the station was delivered in 2020, but Muir says we won't have to wait too much longer for the station to be operational.
So we're hoping to see this come to fruition by the end of the year. We have a December timeline that we're hoping to be in the base and get operational. And it's going to be great for the paramedics.
Carl Langdon, TBT News.
Ignace Council has opted to fill its 2 vacant seats by appointment rather than calling a by-election. The recent decision came 3 weeks after the resignations of the former mayor and deputy mayor. In the same meeting, council voted to restrict public access to council meetings. The bylaw amendment removes public access to council meetings via Zoom and removes in-meeting questions from the public, instead requiring all questions be submitted in writing 2 weeks in advance. One councillor, Jody DeFio, voted against the change. She declined to speak on camera, but did say she felt it removed access to council, especially for those unable to attend in person. No other Ignace council members responded to requests for comment. Meanwhile, a former Ignace councillor is speaking out against the decision, saying Zoom meetings are a matter of accessibility for those with jobs or limited mobility. She says the community is livid.
Once COVID restrictions lifted, we've seen the opportunity there. We decided to keep it. It was important. And it's unfortunate that we've lost that because a huge demographic of our community no longer gets the opportunity to stay abreast and current of our council meetings. As a past councillor, I found the questions from the public portion many a times created dialogue and conversation that really contributed to our decision makings and policy making and writing.
Tucker was herself appointed to council mid-term following another mayoral resignation in 2020. When it comes to avoiding a by-election, she says it makes sense to her for a cost perspective, but she questions the decision to appoint via applications rather than from the candidates list. Hundreds of Thunder Bay residents were able to take a trip around the world just by going to the Fort William Gardens, as today was the first day of the 50th anniversary Folklore Festival, which gave visitors the chance to experience international foods and entertainment. Jessica Clement stopped by to get a glimpse of the different cultures and performances.
Day one of the event saw Fort William Gardens packed with people excited to experience the magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors offered at Folklore Festival. The event, presented by the Thunder Bay Multicultural Association, featured various international cuisine booths, Shop the World booths, and a children's area with free activities. There was also entertainment on the main stage with a schedule that was packed with performances from various cultural dancers and singers. This is the first time the event has been in person since 2019, and co-coordinator Janetti Juma says she's ecstatic to see everyone together again.
We have been waiting for a safe event where families can come out and everyone can appreciate a good time. And folklore is affordable. If you haven't come out, come on out. It's accessible, fully accessible, and we are celebrating what a great dynamic nation Canada is.
Juma says the festival is put on to celebrate the rich cultural heritages that make Canada the diverse country it is. She emphasizes that it's important to hold events that bring people's cultures together.
It is more important now than ever, particularly after COVID. I think we've become very insular. We don't talk to people quite in the same way, and we don't value and respect people. And at Folklore, you see, we're all Canadians, we're all good people. Folklore is about people coming together and valuing who we are.
The Folklore Festival will continue until 11 p.m. and then return on Sunday from noon to 7 p.m. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Comic book shops across the world are giving out free comic books today as part of Free Comic Book Day, including right here in town at Comics Plus and Music Exchange, where locals got free comics while raising money for the Dewdrop Inn. The fun-filled family event took place from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and saw many locals come in to get their 2 free comics of various genres, including Spider-Man, Venom, Batman, Ninja Turtles, The Avengers, and much more. And if 2 wasn't enough, each additional comic book was marked down to $1 each, with proceeds supporting the Dewdrop Inn. Also for Free Comic Book Day, the whole store was 10% off for those who wanted items other than just comics. Owner Gary Gummison says even though today is meant to celebrate comic books, the best part is seeing everyone enjoy the event, especially the little ones.
Especially for the kids, and you know, they obviously enjoy it even probably more, so it's a great thing, especially with the popularity of the superhero films and that. So they're really aware of all these in the comics, but the comics are a widespread assortment of titles, so there's almost something for everyone.
And even though Free Comic Book Day will soon be over, you can still head down to Comics Plus and Music Exchange Monday to Saturday from 11 a.m. to 5:30 p.m.